Slumpbusters. We are on the heels of the 2021 NFL Draft, and obviously that means a lot of interesting debates heading into the fantasy football season. And we at the Slumpbuster would like to help you out and help you bust a slump and win your league. I'm Juju Talk Sports. This is Drew Hagenbaugh. Let's talk about some of these rookie quarterbacks, Drew. So Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. Why we are putting these two up against each other in this debate is these are the two quarterbacks we anticipate will be starting all 16 games. Will be the week one starter for their respective team. Actually, I lie, 17 games now. I misspoke. I have to still get used to that. But 17 games for both these guys. Out the gate, who is your favorite in redraft between these two guys?
I mean, it has to be the number one overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. I just feel like he's in a lot better of a situation. I feel like the Jets have brought in a lot of new people, new coaching staffs, new players. So it's going to give them time to adjust a little bit and get them used to one another and figure things out. And of course, it's the NFL, so it's going to take a lot of time. So I feel like Trevor Lawrence is in a little bit of a better situation because I feel like Trevor Lawrence can adjust quickly. And, you know, Urban Meyer is a favorable quarterback coach and he knows how to work with quarterbacks. And I feel like Lawrence has better playmakers as of right now as well, and a better, I would say, offensive line than New York has right now. So I just feel like Trevor Lawrence is in a little bit of a better offensive situation. And I mean, you drafted Etienne and you have, so I feel like Trevor Lawrence is obviously the go-to guy in a redraft.
I agree with you. For 2021 purposes, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be the first off the board between these two guys. Dynasty will get a little bit trickier for a lot of these quarterback situations, but just focusing on the situation now. So you mentioned the playmakers. I like DJ Chark. I like Laviska Shenault. Yeah. And then that backfield that Jacksonville has put together between Etienne, Carlos Hyde, and James Robinson, which definitely might hurt Etienne's value. We'll get into that in a different video. But I think that those pieces around Trevor Lawrence are good enough to put up fantasy production now. When it comes to Zach Wilson, though, you mentioned the offensive line. I think actually Zach Wilson does have a better offensive line going for him because Mekhi Becton, they drafted him in the first round last year. And then they went out there and added an additional big offensive lineman out of USC and Elijah Vera Tucker. Their offseason acquisitions look like Corey Davis, who was a first-round talent in his own right. Do obviously have Denzel Mims coming back in his second year. Denzel Mims, speedy athletic receiver. My only concern is even for Zach Wilson. So Zach Wilson's offense that he's going to be going into is going to be one that's ran by Matt LaFleur's brother, Mike LaFleur, coming from San Francisco, a lot of boots, a lot of rollouts. I think his high end is potentially a rookie Baker Mayfield. But I think that low end could look similar to what we've seen from Sam Darnold in the last couple of years as he continues to adjust and get used to the speed of the NFL. You got to remember, he didn't come out the gate at BYU just killing it. It took an adjustment period for him. And I think that's what we're going to see a lot in 2021, which isn't going to provide a lot of high-end fantasy finishes for you, probably more in the quarterback 15 to 20 range than where you ideally would want him in the quarterback 1 to 10 range. I think Trevor Lawrence, obviously, as the, touched by the hand of God, as Dave Gettleman would say about his players, type pick, I think that he has a potential upside maybe to rookie Justin Herbert. He has a athleticism himself too, to where he can pick up some rushing yards. Maybe I'd anticipate a couple rushing touchdowns from Trevor Lawrence this year. And that's kind of like how I evaluate him. Do you concur on those points? Where are you on like some of the things I said?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think Trevor Lawrence can get those rushing touchdowns. I think he has the better playmakers. I mean, obviously, Zach Wilson, like you said, has Corey Davis, who was an animal for Tennessee Titans over the last couple of years and for Ryan Tannehill. And overall, the offensive line, we're going to see what happens with both teams because it almost seems like they're in a similar situation. And it's kind of funny how that works too. Like they're exactly like in the same spot, brand new head coaches, totally revamped offensive lines, brand new receivers. And, except for Trevor Lawrence, obviously he's got DJ Chark, who's been there for the last year, but it's almost like they're in a similar situation. And the best part is we get to see 16 or 17 games. I'm with you.
It's going to be hard.
17 games. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be difficult saying 2-15 or 3-14 for some of these teams.
I feel as though we might be saying that
I
about the Jets record at the end of the year.
But no, I totally agree. I really think that Trevor Lawrence is going to have a better situation. But as of right now, it's going to be close between these two in the first year because we're going to see them play all 17 games. And we're going to see how their new teams, their new coaching staffs, their new players all just kind of gel together. And we're going to see who really was the number one pick. Obviously, we're going to think it's Trevor Lawrence. But Zach Wilson could come out and easily just shock the world and just be like, hey, I'm right there with him.
If you agree with Chris Sims' rankings, that's exactly how he has it as out the gate, who's going to be the better starter. But let's talk about it from a dynasty perspective. Do you still hold strong with Trevor Lawrence being the guy to own in dynasty?
Oh, yeah, 100%. He has to be the guy. I mean, like we said earlier, he's the number one pick for a reason. And I mean, he's basically the Andrew Luck of the talent that we've been waiting for a long time. I mean, Andrew Luck drafted back in 2011, 2012. And he's been compared to him we've heard about Trevor Lawrence since pretty much his senior year of high school, if then before. Like, he was destined to be the number one guy. And all these comparisons to Andrew Luck and stuff like that, it has to be him. And the thing is, can he handle the pressure of obviously being the next Andrew Luck without the injuries?
Yeah, and I'll take it a step further, too, as far as Zach Wilson's side of things. So you mentioned Robert Saleh, defensive-minded head coach, has to hire an offensive coordinator. Let's say Mike LaFleur has an excellent season with Zach Wilson. He has that historic Baker Mayfield-type rookie year. Well, Mike LaFleur is gone. He's getting the next head coaching job. And then suddenly you're in a position where you have to hire a new OC. So your sophomore quarterback has a second offensive coordinator in 2 years. Or let's say they just bomb and then Mike LaFleur is out. Then you're talking about another situation where they're hiring a new OC. You could very easily find yourself in an Alex Smith type trajectory where you have 5 offensive coordinators, 5 years. That's why it's harder for defensive head coaches to find jobs in the league. And that's why I think with at least potentially 3 years of Urban Meyer at the helm, and like you mentioned earlier, his quarterback-centric schemes that he's been able to produce, at least at the college level, I think this provides a window of opportunity for Trevor Lawrence to exceed his rookie class, and also provides a lot of questions as far as Zach Wilson's long-term future. But anyway, let us know, Slumpbusters, what do you think? Drop it in the comments below. Who are you drafting first? Off your boards, redraft, dynasty, whatever it is. We're here to help you out. Go ahead and check out our partners, cavemancoffeeco.com. Don't be a chump. Use promo code SLUMP and save yourself 15% off your next order. Nitro cold brews, perfect boost in the morning. Also, thank y'all. Officially over that 1,000 subscriber mark. But you know what? We're going for 2K next. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and we're going to go in strong into next fantasy football season with you on board. We'll see you next time.